Great Monday presented by LinkedIn. Well, this has been the home for the Texas Longhorns since 1977, the Erwin Center. And tonight, the final game for the men's basketball team here in this home court. Fans making their way in. It is expected to be a jam-packed Erwin Center for number 21 Texas and number 3 Baylor. And this is the Big 12 on ESPN. They've got balloons, we've got standings. Kansas in first place, fresh off that loss to Baylor on the road. And Texas Tech in third. The Texas Longhorns at 10-6. Welcome courtside, everybody. John Shambi and Fran Fraschilla. Chris Budden will join us coming up. We start in the Baylor side. Former number 1 team, they got off to that 15-0 start. They haven't been entirely healthy since suffering their first loss of the year. Jonathan Chachua out, and things have changed.
They've changed, but not necessarily for the worse. They definitely miss Everyday John's spirit and energy. But these 4 big guys together have put up really impressive numbers, each of them in their own way, John, getting better and better.
Chris Budden, what about the mental approach for the Baylor Bears?
That's the part that Scott Drew is most proud of, Boog. It is this attitude that is not next man up, but every man up. It has been a collective effort from the entire team on different nights. Adam Flagler in Stillwater against Oklahoma State, Flo Thamba against Kansas, and they will need that continuing throughout the season with only a 7-man rotation.
And Fran, what about Chris Beard's Texas Longhorns? A hard-fought win on Saturday in Morgantown as they were able to take out West Virginia. And what do you see from this team that was preseason top 5?
Toughness and togetherness, something that has taken a season of chemistry to figure out. They have it now.
Bishop to jump for Texas. Flo Thamba to jump for the Bears. Thamba coming off a career-high 18 on Saturday in the win, and he wins the tip.
All right, John, last game, James Akinjo, the guard, lived in the paint. That's got to be a big key for Texas's defense.
Brown gives off Akinjo with Carr on him. Allen pops out, Akinjo double team. Shot clock under 10. Meyer with Jones on him. Pull up. And that missed everything. Texas basketball. Chris Beard's team, one of the best in college basketball at the defensive end. Scott Drew's group very good as well. Let's check out our starting lineups. Are brought to you by Degree. And for Texas, Jones, Carr, Ramey, Allen, and Bishop. They're 5. And on the Baylor side, Akinjo, Flagler, Meyer, Brown, and Thamba. Carr's baseline jumper, and that gets the scoring started.
He's been more aggressive, looking for his own. He averaged 19 last year at Minnesota.
Brown's feed into Thamba, and then he flips up an air ball.
Andrew Jones has been very aggressive lately, and Timmy Allen coming off 26 at West Virginia.
Here is Timmy Allen with Brown on him. And now Andrew Jones going to work on Flagler. Shot clock winding down, got to get something off here. Jones tees it up. That will not count. Jamie Lucky on the call says shot clock violation.
Excellent possession for Baylor. They're going to be mostly man-to-man. Last game, John, Texas did not get into the paint off the dribble. Something I know they're very concerned about tonight.
Meyer, that's a 3. It's off the mark, rebounded Ramey. These teams met on February 12th, and Baylor won at 80-63, even with Chachua suffering the season-ending injury.
That's right, they controlled that game, up 13 at the half.
Jones from deep. Meyer the rebound. That's one of the things they loved about his performance against Kansas. The rebounding, is he had a dozen of them.
In traffic as well. There's that penetration right off the bat. They must keep him out of the paint tonight. He is a whirling dervish. He creates offense on his own. Watch him dive. You get the chance.
Jimmy Allen collects it back, loses it again. Meyer. And now a loose ball that Ramey picks up. Shot clock is under 10. Ramey fading. A little too strong. And now Brown. Wow, look at him go. And what do they have? Foul on the floor. Those long strides. He goes 6'8", 205. Man, he can move.
Now let's go back. Speaking of somebody who can move. Remember, James Akinjo had a back issue. Texas switches and Timmy Allen. That is a mismatch. With all due respect to Timmy Allen's toughness, James Akinjo and Scott Beard would love those matchups with the bigs all night long.
That's foul on Andrew Jones, and he'll grab a seat. Jace Febris, who's been finding more playing time of late, is into the game. When he's right, a very good shooter.
Yeah, coming off a big game Saturday. That was needed.
Flagler gets a three from the corner. He was the guy in that win a week ago in overtime against Oklahoma State with 29.
Monday is his favorite day of the week, I think.
Inside Febris, offensive foul.
Akinjo brings that toughness on both ends. A native of Oakland, California. The transfer from Arizona, remember, all Pac-12 a year ago. That was a little bit, I thought that was a block. I don't think he was there, but a good effort by Akinjo.
So you were implying a little floppish.
No, I think he was moving. It should have been a block, in my opinion.
Akinjo, crossover three. And Ramey skies for the board. Allen cut off, well done.
Gotta find a way to get the ball into the paint. Either post it or dribble it.
Febris, quick release, and he buries it.
Remember, John, this kid's got over 200 threes in his career.
Jeremy Sohan is off the Baylor bench. He's going to check in for the first time. Brown gets a piece of the paint, kicks out Thamba. And now Flagler. And they get a block. Chance Moore in the call. Texas bench wanted an offensive foul.
Well, he's pointing at the restricted arc, which means the defender, let's see, yep. Because the defender, now, it's interesting about that rule, the defender's feet have got to be above that line. You can actually take a charge down there on the baseline underneath the arc, but in the opinion of the official, he had a foot on the arc line, automatic block. I don't know if Chris Beard is mentioning that. If you take a charge in the paint below the circle, it's not automatically a restricted arc play. Let's watch. And I think I think that he's in the arc.
Brown handling here, and they get an offensive foul.
That's not a charge. I'm sorry. That's good defense right there.
Tied at 5. And just getting started. John Shelby, Fran Fraschilla, Chris Budden. And Marcus Carr flips it back, almost turned it over. Febris. And look who's got the rebound. Brock Cunningham. Kicked out Carr. And Marcus Carr nails the three. And this place is alive. The final men's basketball game here at the Frank Erwin Center. The home for the Longhorns since November of '77. Break in the action here, but we're going to keep it here. Texas with a 3-point advantage. And the Baylor Bears, number 3 in the country. Let's take a look at the way the season has gone for them. Remember, friend, they got off to that 15-0 start. They were number 1.
Yeah, but they played like it. They were absolutely dynamite to start the year. You could see it right there, 5 straight weeks, and then the injury bug hit. They've lost nearly 50 games to injuries, including a couple guys for the season. And when Everyday John was hurt in that Texas game, it rocked Baylor, but they've won 4 out of 5, and they're getting good performances, particularly from the front line.
All right, so this is the up-to-date AP poll. Baylor at number 3. That was a nice toss there from Dan Shulman. Thank you, guys. 8-5. Texas leading Baylor. John Shambi, Fran Fraschilla, Chris Button. Big 12 basketball. Welcome courtside. Hoog and Fran with you. And obviously the final game here in terms of the men's basketball program in the history of the Erwin Center. And this has been a good atmosphere, at least so far.
Yeah, it really has. This is a great night for Texas because they're going to close down a building with great history. And this is a big game because it's a rematch of a game that Baylor dominated the first time they played.
Now, obviously, one of the things you look at in this matchup, the fact that Baylor isn't entirely healthy. The first time they met, Jonathan Chalmers went down. That was February 12th, done for the year. But guys have stepped up in his place.
Yes, John. They can't replace his spirit and energy, but they can replace his statistics, and all 4 of these guys, including those 2 precocious freshmen, Sohan and Kendall Brown, are making strides. No doubt about it.
Yeah, one of the other elements when you think about Baylor is that they do it at both ends of the court. They're a top 15 team of adjusted efficiency offensively and defensively. They rank 8th in adjusted offense, according to Ken Palm, and 13th in adjusted defense. Texas, by the way, number 17 in adjusted defense. So these are 2 of the better defensive teams in the country.
Well, that's the Big 12 this year. We've seen it every night. And Texas, to your point, is actually growing under Chris Beard. There's a toughness level and a competitiveness that took a while to get that chemistry together with all these transfers.
All right, here's what's taking place, at least so far tonight. The Longhorns 3 out of 6, and Texas on that 6-0 run. So these 2 teams fighting, at least for now, for seeding in the Big 12 for the Big 12 tourney. And the Texas Longhorns, Chris Beard's group, now at number 21 in the AP poll.
And I think, John, they've tightened their rotation. Trey Mitchell, the transfer from UMass, has left the team for personal reasons. He's indefinitely out for now. And I think they have a solid 8, and that's where chemistry plays a big factor because everybody knows what their role is after 20-some-odd games.
For Baylor, one of the big questions continues to be, will L.J. Cryer play for them again as he continues to miss time with a bad foot? Flagler off the window, the tip, oh my goodness. Kendall Brown jumping up above everyone, and he tipped it home.
He goes to the penthouse, there's no question. 2 freshmen for Baylor are getting better and better.
Carr with Akinjo on it.
Again, Marcus Carr has got to get to the paint off the dribble.
Ramey with Akinjo on him. Shot clock winding down. Ramey spins, fading away. And a violation.
Watch the drive now by Flagler. And I want you to watch this young man, Kendall Brown, come out of nowhere. Good touch. Remember, he's only 18 years old. One of the top high school players in the country a year ago. He will not turn 19 until May, which is why there are about 20 NBA teams here tonight watching him among others.
Yeah, this is Jeremy Sohan. Akinjo, good feed, and there is Thamba.
I'll tell you what they're doing, John. Texas has made an effort early to trap the pick and roll, and a great job by Thamba, who gets better at catching those tough passes on a roll.
Allen had it stripped away. The smaller Flagler took it from him. Sohan into the paint, now looking for help, and gets it out to their point guard.
Good footwork. Came into that 2-foot stop, didn't have anything, kicked it out. Smart. There's a trap.
And Carr on the errant pass collects. Puts it up and in.
Baylor's going to have to treat the trap of the pick and roll like it's a press offense. 2 on the ball means you have the 4-on-3 advantage, but you got to make a good pass out.
Brown lost the handle, turns it over. Texas with the lead. Bishop reverses it and puts it in.
Nice job by Andrew Jones on the baseline. He was double teamed but kept his composure.
Double with Bishop on him.
See the
now
trapping?
the double team, yep.
They're not going to let those guards get loose.
Flagler contested, Randy rebounds. In and out. And back the other way come the Baylor Bears.
There's those traps.
Sohan trying to find Brown. That was deflected by Texas. And it'll be Baylor basketball when we return. 12-9, Texas. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by LinkedIn. Whatever you're in it for, we're in it together. And in part by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Back here at the Drum, the final home men's basketball game here at the Frank Erwin Center. And tributes absolutely everywhere. Look at that picture of Chris Beard right in the center. Let's send it over to Chris Budden. Let's talk sneakers.
Boog, you're a shoe guy, so you're going to love this. The Texas staff wearing custom-made sneakers today with actual pieces of this building. The swoosh of the Nike, this part is made from pieces of the seats, and then there's pieces of an actual game ball, and then you can see the laces. That is from an actual game net, and on the inside of the shoe, actually the wooden part is a piece of the court. The inside of the sole, inside is the tenure of the coaching staff here, and then the commemorative date for today. Pretty cool. Custom-made Nikes, literally wearing pieces of this court.
No doubt, that is pretty neat. And this is the inside of the shoe honoring the coaches and then the game tonight. Abe Lemons, Tom Pender, Shaka Smart, and obviously the great history, and then also the date for the game here tonight against Baylor in the other shoe, and there they are.
I'm going on Poshmark tonight to see if I can get a pair of those.
Oh,
man.
good luck.
Yeah, I know it. Second foul, John, on Flagler. That's big.
And Flagler will grab a seat. Brown will check in. Adam Flagler's been one of their guys that when they've needed some instant offense from a guy to get it on his own, he's the dude that can do it. Meyer rebound.
Yeah, no question about it. Big part of last year's championship game, their sixth man, double-figure scorer. Gonna have to play without him for a few minutes at least right now.
Sohan spinning on Carr. Brown had a pretty clean look at it. Left hand, flipped it up a little too strong.
I think the look would have been a three-point shot right there. Shoot that ball, young man. Texas coming off a huge win at West Virginia, John. A team that is, they could win an NCAA tournament game, and they're not going to go to the tournament, obviously, unless they win the Big 12. Hard luck. Good team.
Askew feeds Allen. Spinning, kick out Carr. And it'll stay with Texas. Well, a reminder, here's our final Super Tuesday regular season lineup on ESPN and the app. We start in the SEC 7 Eastern, number 7 Kentucky hosting Ole Miss, and then Purdue and Wisconsin. Man, that's a good game right there. As we cap the night in the Pac-12, Arizona going up against USC, number 2 and number 16. Texas by 3, and a block on Christian Bishop.
Matthew Meyer playing the final time in this building. He's a young man, as you know, from Austin, Westlake High School. Here's a drive, never had the 2 feet down and legal. Easy call for Chance Moore.
He's got a few people here, right? Some family and...
Yeah, I said, how many tickets you got tonight? How many family first? He goes, we got 15. What about friends? He goes, hundreds. Remember, he and Brock Cunningham were teammates on that Westlake team.
The Baylor drought closing in on 4 minutes without scoring.
Got to shoot that.
Meyer. Cunningham rebounds over his former high school teammate, and now Carr the other way. Almost lost the handle. Jones, and he traveled. Fran, you look at this game, 12-9, 9:57 to go. This is more towards what Texas wants than what Baylor wants.
Yeah, I think so, John. But this is indicative of the second time in conference. We watched the walkthroughs today. These teams know each other like they're all on the same team, really. It's like a backyard brawl, and so it's hard to score off the set plays. You're going to have to need some guys to just go on their own, like this guy.
Sohan, that's a 3. Rattles out, Ramey rebounds. And they get the foul on Meyer.
That's a riverboat gambler. He's become a much better defender this year because of his length and his quickness. Sometimes I would tell guys like him, listen, save it for the second half. In other words, don't get yourself in foul trouble in the first half. If you think you can pick one, give yourself time to settle into the game. We don't need you picking up cheap fouls.
Flagler back into the game, and he has 2.
I like that. You don't want to foul out your best players.
Allen gets inside and gets the contact, and he'll go to the line.
This is a guy that was all Pac-12 last year. He plays bigger than his size, Timmy Allen. He's got great heart and soul. This is a kid, John, that lost his mom in junior high school. He transferred high schools in order to be close to his mom, where she was in hospice care, and it meant he missed the first part of his junior season to be with mom. She's always in his heart, and he plays like it.
Coming off 26, a season high at West Virginia. Allen, who goes 6'6", about 210. That mid-range game and a really good cutter.
Tell you who he reminds me of. He reminds me of the P.J. Tucker that played at Texas. P.J. never shot a 3 at Texas.
And now some pressure from the Longhorns. Baylor in a major drought. Bonner, and that wouldn't fall. Sohan squirts away from him. Askew has it.
Rob Cunningham involved in that one. No surprise. He should be fresh tonight. Fresh legs.
Good look inside. Allen to Jones. And it's an 8-0 Texas run. Baylor has gone ice cold, and the Texas defense has had a lot to do with it. Sohan tracks down the miss. Feed to Brown, inside, reverse wouldn't go, but Kendall Brown will go to the line to shoot 2. Well, Scott Drew's team has found open looks hard to come by. Baylor down here in Austin. Final game at Cameron, our Sonic Blockbuster. North Carolina goes up against Duke this Saturday at 6 Eastern on ESPN. Dickie V's got his keys to the game. Boncaro has got to be aggressive on offense. And, of course, Armando Bacot, a guy we've seen him at times be dominant. And that's something Dickie V emphasizing there. And I want to send our best to Dick. I know he's watching, and I know he wishes he could be there for that Carolina-Duke game, the final game at Cameron for Mike Krzyzewski.
When I think of Dickie V and Duke Carolina, I think of Jeff Cable, 1995, hitting that half-court shot, put the game in overtime. I believe Carolina still won, but an iconic moment in that building.
By the way, Mike Krzyzewski, he won his first game against North Carolina, 1981 on this day. February 28, 66-65, he beat Carolina.
41 years ago.
Yeah.
Great book by Ian O'Connor on Coach K, and I just read about that first season. In fact, Gene Banks hit the shot to win that game for Coach K. Tinkerbell out of Philadelphia.
Askew into the front court. Kick to the corner, Febris, good ball fake, jumper.
Oh, inside.
And then Dessou got his legs cut out from under him. I think it was Bonner that was underneath.
Yep, Bonner trying to block out right here. And you'll see Dessou go flying because Bonner got underneath him, to your point. And
Dylan Dessou, the transfer from Vanderbilt. He actually led the SEC in rebounding last year.
yeah, he's not the same player, John. He had serious knee surgery, and his athleticism is not back yet.
Thamba, the feed from Akinjo in the deuce.
He's doing that better and better. It's hard to be 6'11", 250, and catch the ball on the move without running somebody over. Really improved in that area, and it's very underrated.
Febris gets a piece of the fake and kicks out. Febris. And Thamba rebound.
Good defense. That's part of their strategy. Keep Akinjo out of the paint. Excellent.
Bonner.
Nice defense.
Great job by Texas on the defensive end. Febris draws the foul as Thamba charged with that one. 6:42 to go here in the first half, and Texas just throttling Baylor defensively.
If there's a difference between the first game and this game, and it was part of their strategy, don't let Akinjo into the paint off the dribble. He tortured Texas, he tortured Kansas on Saturday. Great job tonight by the Texas Longhorn defense.
Guys, one of the areas that Scott Drew feels like his team has grown is when they get down, they no longer sulk. During that Kansas game early February, they got down double digits within the first 3 minutes. In the rest of that game, you could see their body language. The coaches actually cut clips of that game to show them their reactions. And since then, they got down by double digits against Kansas on Saturday, but they didn't have that same reaction. And that's what Scott Drew was talking about in that last huddle, checking the pulse of his team. Are we good, guys? We got this. It's okay. Trying to calm them down.
Chris, great point, and we saw it last Monday at Oklahoma State, John. They were not great for most of that game, but they found a way to win.
No pouting, no sulking. I got it.
There's that trap. Texas has neutralized the pick and roll game tonight with hard traps.
Shot clock at 4. Sohan from deep. Carr rebounds, and here comes Texas. Big rebound. Feed inside Allen on the floor. No foul called. Puts it up. It rolls out. Timmy Allen will go to the line and shoot 2.
Yeah, he should have shot 2 on that first shot because Thamba broke the plane, the verticality plane. Didn't get called. The second one was. That's Timmy Allen's games right there. Take a look. This first one is a foul. Right there, okay? No call. What does Timmy Allen do? He's like a Timex. I know that's old school, but he takes a licking. He keeps on ticking.
Ask your parents, kids.
Ask your parents, kids. Go in that Sears and Roebuck's catalog.
That's right. We'll have more old school commercial references coming up in the second half.
No, we won't.
All right, well.
I think this kid, more than any of the transfers, epitomizes what Chris Beard has tried to bring to the 40 acres.
He was the guy that said it, right? He said he wanted to come play for the best coach in America.
And that's why he's playing a lot.
Yeah.
You got it.
Texas by 5, under 6 to go first half.
It's the defense.
Brown, and that's a 3.
That's a trade-off because Timmy Allen stayed in the paint on the drive and they dared Brown to shoot it. That's called a calculated risk.
Carr turns the wow. Oh boy. Christian Bishop, I mean, just blew the roof off this place with that dunk. Meyer, Thamba, and the dunk.
Excellent. And that time they beat the double team at midcourt. And they played 4-on-3, and they made 2 good decisions. This is a chess match right now between both coaches.
Ramey step back and knocks it down over Flagler. Great atmosphere here tonight. The final game here at the Erwin Center. Ramey hesitates, kicks February. And out of bounds, it'll be Baylor basketball. Texas up 4.
Watch this now. Watch Marcus Carr get into the paint. There's a little pick and roll. Little help from Thamba. He's up too high. And Meyer's got to come over earlier. He's what we call the MIG, the MIG, the most important guy. He does not pick up the roll early enough, and he gives Bishop a running start to the rim. Meyer's got to be 2 steps closer to that roll.
22-18. Sohan will sit, Bonner checks in, Akinjo's going to grab a seat.
Texas game plan excellent early. They're packing the paint and trapping pick and rolls, making it difficult.
Brown, awkward, puts it in, and he'll go to the line. Wow.
Kendall Brown is a special athlete at 6'8". Take a look, watch him hang. He's gonna go left, take the contact, and finish on the glass. Beautiful, watch it again now. Soft touch by the freshman. Baylor, those freshmen are growing. We got a game. Seth, trust me, I think those 2 kids are gone, and part of it, John, is not just that they're not great right now, but they have the potential to be great in the NBA. They're both 18 years old. I say projection over production right now, but that's not all bad. Great kids, hard workers.
They're growing and learning. Nice shot there by Devin Askew.
Devin's feeling a role right now, and I love that Chris Beard plays him with Marcus Carr, because Marcus can do what he does best, is score.
Baylor got off to a slow start. 4 for 15 to begin, but they've hit 4 of their last 6 shots.
Can't get into the paint.
Askew. The steal and the layup.
Baylor forgot the easy pass because it was easy Saturday night getting into the paint. Tonight, 5 white shirts are guarding the ball.
Texas 11 points off Baylor turnovers. Brown, an open look at 3. Got it to go. And he went down. Texas is lucky that Baylor didn't get a chance at a 4-point play there.
I like that he's shooting it. He's got to shoot it. Let's watch. That's either a foul or a flop, okay? Because I've seen that called a flop all year, so make up your mind.
Your draft conversations brought to you by State Farm. What are your thoughts on Kendall Brown, where he fits in?
I can't wait till he's 23 years old, John. He's got the prototype NBA small forward, wing, defender body. His skill level is better than people think. He can pass the ball, but he's 18 years old. I love him as a pro. It's going to take some time. It's like the high school kid who throws 99. Can't put him in the majors right away, but he's going to be really, really good someday. Great young man.
Akinjo gets into the paint.
Finally.
Meyer inside, and he lays it off the glass. A physical move right there as he was able to get his hands on the board in his first 2. Ramey. And Sohan rebounds the miss.
Yep, Chris Beard tried to go with Flagler with 2. That's why Ramey was able to go one-on-one. Couldn't knock it down. No paint.
Baylor can take the lead. They've done a great job keeping Akinjo out of the paint right there. He gets in.
There you go.
And with
Finally.
the left hand eye off the glass. And Chris Beard frustrated with that. Baylor with the lead.
I know it doesn't seem like it, right?
To the Frank Erwin Center, Chris Beard is hot.
Yeah, he's telling his team, let him shoot the jumper. Don't let him get to the paint. Now look at the real clear out. Nice job. And then we've watched these Baylor guards forever. Watch this off-foot finish. This is a wrong foot layup with the offhand. Why? Because when you drive against good defenses, you don't have time. This is not junior high. You can't go off the right foot on the right side. No, you got to get it up quick on the backboard, and they do a great job of that.
A 7-0 Baylor run as we close in on a minute to go in the first half. John Shelby, Fran Fraschilla, Chris Budd, the final game here at the Drum, the Frank Erwin Center. Texas is home since 1977. Askew, soft touch, gets it to go.
I like it. Only a 30% three-point shooter. You could see him hesitate. Devin's been really good lately. The transfer from Kentucky. Texas goes zone, but usually it's a fraud. They show zone, they go man, and that's what they're doing.
Sohan into the paint, ball fake, pumps it up.
I don't know about that.
The travel.
I don't know about that. If he lifts that pivot foot, he's allowed to lift it into the air. Let's take a look. Chance Moore had a great look at this, the official. I don't know. I don't think I would call that a travel. Tough to tell. Obviously, the official thought the front foot was the pivot foot. He lifted it, brought it down. This year, they're told, unless you're absolutely sure, don't call it a travel. I would not have called that a travel.
Texas with the lead and the ball. First half winding down. Loose ball. Back to Jones. Jones gets it to Flagler, and it goes!
Kendall Brown got greedy and tried to get it up the court, and in doing so, lost it and cost his team too. Watch Brown now. He's trying to flip it up the court, and Texas says, we'll take that gift.
Timeout, Baylor will take it with him. Back at 30. Back here in Austin, Texas at home and leading by 3.
And Scott Drew took that timeout, John. They're going to go home run here with 1.3. A clean catch will get you a shot. Don't want to throw it over your teammates out of bounds. Uh-oh. That's what happened.
And that'll be the ball at the other end, or back where the ball was inbounded
Exactly.
for Texas.
They surrounded Sohan, and Sohan never moved. It was like he was double teamed as a wide receiver. He's got to know that at worst, you got to at least touch it.
All right, so now Jamie Luckey and Kip Kissinger.
I mean, I don't know what they need to review here, because this ball was clearly out of bounds. This is a huge last 5 seconds, because Baylor was down 1 and turned it over, and now they've turned it over a second time. We've watched Texas all year. They're pretty good in special teams. They put a lot of time into this.
Carr is going to inbound, 1.3 to go. Inside, and it's blocked. Allen had it. Sohan blocked him. And Texas has a 3-point lead as we go to break. Let's send it over to Chris Button.
Coach, you told me before the game this was coming down to defense and rebounding. What have you seen out of your team so far?
Yeah, I think both teams are defending at a high level, obviously. We just got to settle down a little bit on offense. I thought we let Brown get away from us a little bit. He scored some bunches.
Baylor's a team that showed they can go on some streaks. What will you need in the second half?
Yeah, I think both teams can go on streak. So I think the first 4 minutes of this game is going to be really important. So that's what we're going to go work on right now.
Appreciate it.
Chris Beard's Texas team with a 30-27 lead at the half. Stay tuned. The Jeep halftime report coming up after a short break. To the road to Champ Week, presented by Wendy's. And this is Big Monday, brought to you by LinkedIn. Oh, yes. Dogs bouncing on a basketball. Halftime entertainment. Dogs bouncing on a person. Texas by 3. And we welcome you courtside. We get ready for our second 20 minutes here in Austin. John Shambi, Fran Fraschilla, Chris Button will join us coming up. And obviously, Texas early, the defense was really good. Late, James Akinjo had a lot to do with how Baylor was able to get back into it in time for our Capital One rewarding performance.
Yeah, to your point, John. Great job early by Texas. And then Akinjo late started to feel where the defenders were. Got to the paint, made some big buckets. Now, take a look. He's got 5 paint touches tonight. That's led to 7 points. But Baylor's only shot 3 free throws because that Texas defense has been so good.
Chris Budden, what do you have?
Well, that is exactly what Scott Drew just said. He said we have to be able to attack their press on offense, and I want to see my guys drive into the paint. Texas is going to foul. Let's get to the free throw line. He said the other thing, the 13 points off turnovers just cannot happen. This would be a completely different game if we didn't allow that.
Yeah, Baylor got to the line just 3 times. It was Kendall Brown, 2 of 3 in that first half. Jones, little floater on the baseline, and that teardrop comes down in the basket.
Well, Andrew Jones, 2 points in the first half, but we've seen him be really aggressive lately. There's a sense of urgency about the end of his career.
Bamba inside, took the contact, offensive rebound, and then he gets fouled. And now we're wrestling over the basketball.
Sure, just like in the park.
Flo Thamba starter on the last year's national championship team. So the Baylor Bears, right now, Joe Lunardi has them as a 1 seed.
They're going to have to solve the double teams of Flagler and pick and roll.
Well, that'll help. Akinjo buries one from deep.
Yep. They chase Flagler with 2 defenders, and we keep telling you that if it's 2 on the ball, it's got to be 4-on-3 advantage for the rest of the team.
Ramey gets that one, so a little more offense to begin the second half.
Remember, Courtney Ramey did a great job on Ochai Agbaji here a couple weeks ago.
Carr almost came up with a steal and Akinjo. Flagler tried to find Thamba. Kissinger said Texas tipped it out of bounds, so it'll be Baylor basketball 10 on the shot clock.
And I think Adam fooled Flo Thamba, who started to head to the rim.
Brown, scoop shot rejected.
I don't think you're going to get away with that one. Kendall Brown, the only Baylor Bear in double figures in the first half. He's going to try to sneak this ball underneath. And Christian Bishop has been, he's given them the toughness that they were expecting. Transfer from Creighton.
Bamba got it to go as the shot clock expired.
John, he can come back next year. And I would advise him to come back and play 30 minutes a game. He's really improved.
Two-point game here early second half. Bishop lost the handle. Eventually Jones got to get something off. Left hand and it goes!
Smart play by Jones. He looked up at the clock at 4 and realized he had a scoop.
Good atmosphere here at the Drum, the final home game for the Texas men's basketball program in this building. We'll move on to the Moody Center. Flagler off balance. Jones will try.
That's a good look. Chris Beard does not mind that shot.
Akinjo finds Thamba. A little too strong. Thamba offensive rebound. And then a foul inside.
Let's watch Andrew Jones and watch the shot clock. He sees it running down. He's going to catch it. He looks up, and he knows he's got to go. And he gets that off. Perfect timing. Watch him look up. And now he's off to the races. Good heads-up play by, what, the 6th-year senior? Former McDonald's All-American in 2016.
Who, by the way, has another year left. If he wants to come back, he could play next year, and he would be 25 once conference play starts. So we'll see what Andrew Jones elects to do.
It's an amazing battle.
Guy who's overcome cancer. He documented his fight against leukemia, and obviously earlier we told you how he announced he was donating 10% of the money he earns through the NIL to the V Foundation. 2-point Texas lead. Allen over Flagler and one.
And that's number 3 on Adam. They had the mismatch. Timmy Allen was patient. And I think Adam walks under, but watch Timmy Allen. He takes his time. Little bump there on the ground. And that's where that's his real estate. That's Allenville. Right here, mid-range. Timmy Allen, John, has made 4 threes all season. But that's because he knows who he is.
You guys mentioned that he wanted to come play for the best coach in the country in Chris Beard. He knew he wanted to come here after watching last year, Texas at West Virginia. Beard goes on this epic tirade, throws himself on the floor, gets kicked out of the game. Timmy was watching that game back home. He said, that's the guy I want to play for.
Kindred spirits.
That was quite a scene. And a foul on Texas. Mesa, Arizona, first team all Pac-12 as he came from Utah. He averaged over 17 points per game in each of his last 2 seasons in the Pac-12.
And ironically, his brother Teddy just dispatched of Bryce Drew in Grand Canyon over the weekend. Teddy Buckets used to play at West Virginia.
Flagler, a much-needed 3, and they're within 2.
We've seen that before, haven't we?
Yeah, he can heat up.
Little zone now by Baylor, first time today.
Inside Bishop, wouldn't fall, and it ends up in the hands of Akinjo. Akinjo uses the quickness, contact.
That's a foul. That should be called a foul because that's verticality.
It'll be Baylor basketball when we return. Texas by 2. Rotation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's new hot honey chicken sandwich. Also available on a biscuit at breakfast at participating U.S. Wendy's. Now Chris Beard lining up for pictures with seniors on senior night. It's challenging to figure out at this point who's a senior and who's coming back, but the bottom line is thanks to the guys that have been here, and from an age standpoint, consider this. There are 8 guys on this Texas team that are 22 or older. Look at the average age comparison between the Longhorns and the OKC Thunder. Yes. Basically the same.
Yes, 11,000 plus points from this entire roster, mostly made up of transfers. 8 and 4 returnees.
Akinjo, that wouldn't go. Thamba there for the rebound. Out to Flagler.
Bingo. That's what we call the dagger 3. Why? Because when you grab the rebound and the defense isn't set and you make a 3, it's a dagger to the heart of Chris Beard's club. Zoned by Baylor. It was not very good last week up at Oklahoma State.
Baylor with the lead. Jones trying to answer. Out of bounds. And they're going to say Baylor basketball. 40-39, 15-15 to go.
This is just fake pressure. Akinjo realizes it.
Akinjo gets into the paint, kicks out Sohan. And Thamba tips it out of bounds. So we got a good Big Ten college basketball matchup for you Thursday on ESPN and the app. Fresh off their upset of Purdue. Michigan State will go up against number 23 Ohio State in Columbus. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern.
Keep in mind, John, Jeremy Sohan, 17 points, brilliant Saturday night. Does not have a point yet, but that's freshman for you. And a good job by Texas of eyeing him all night.
Carr will hoist and hit. Texas is 3 for 14 from 3, but Carr is 2 for 4.
Here comes the ball screen. Let's see if they trap it.
Akinjo lost the handle briefly. High off the glass and good. Wow.
They've got a white piece of tape in their practice gym above the square, and those guards work on those shots.
Jones and Akinjo off to Sohan. Block from Jones with a foul call.
Let's watch James Akinjo. This is another late clock play, and watch him use the top of the backboard perfectly. You remember last year, Butler, Mitchell, Teague, Flagler, perfectly done. That's worked on every day in practice.
Sohan to the line. The third foul, by the way, on Andrew Jones. Sohan, not a great free throw shooter at 58%, but books the first.
This is a young man who grew up in England. His mom is Polish. He was born in Oklahoma when his mom played for Panhandle State. He's got a beautiful accent, John. He's a great young man. A lot of personality.
His Premier League team is Arsenal, by the way.
That's his favorite team. Got it. I like it.
Allen puts it on the floor. And a foul on Meyer.
Jeremy Sohan has been rocking, well, a variety of hairstyles throughout this season. It started as this blonde fro and then green, and then he buzzed it. He did that because he got stuck on a delay on a flight to Kansas State, and they made a bet. Hey, you want to buzz your hair off? So he did it. Now it's this, well, he says that's green. A comparison to a tennis ball might disagree.
Right.
Chris Budden, can he be a fashion model someday?
The green fro,
yeah,
the best.
Carr went down hard. Flagler gets a huge three, and Baylor by a couple.
Hard foul at midcourt. They said it was legal, and Marcus Carr is holding his earlobe right now.
You know, Marcus Carr got hammered on that screen.
Well, that's one way to get the ball in the paint. They did that against Kansas Saturday night. Set that screen out at 60 feet.
Akinjo closes on Carr. And now Bishop got to get something off here. Fedwitz. And they go possession arrow.
Watch this screen now at about 60 feet away. He's got to be still. That could have gone either way. That could have been a moving screen. I think ultimately it's legal, but look what it does.
Yeah.
It allows Kinjo to get to where? The paint.
I thought he kind of stepped into him a tiny bit.
A tad. Some coaches in this league would have been screaming about that.
Akinjo inside finds Sohan. In close, he couldn't hit.
Shot clock. We're going to check and see if this ball hit the board, or the rim, excuse me.
Jamie Lucky going over to Kip Kissinger and Chance Moore. What was that conference just about? Thought they were going to look, I guess not.
Yeah. Resets to 19.
Good feet inside. Sohan and then Brown. And Bonner with the miss and a foul on Brown, and that's going to be his third. Baylor on the road and leading by 2. 66 Big 12 championship. If the season ended today, here's what you're looking at. First round, West Virginia and Oklahoma. And you see how it sets up with Kansas as the 1 seed, Texas as the 4, Baylor the 2, Tech is the 3. All right, so what about for Baylor, the health?
You know, I've been around this team all season. If I had to bet, I would say L.J. Cryer will not play anymore this season.
Okay.
That's my gut feeling. If that happens, then Baylor is a Sweet 16 team. If L.J. Cryer were back and close to where he was, he leads his team in scoring. I think they're a Final Four contender, but not without him.
You see Cryer in the boot, and it is the same foot that he had surgery on, but that's not the part that's painful. He actually has an additional fracture that when he walks on it is incredibly painful. It is getting better, the rest that he's had off of it, but it's how do they manage it, allowing that fracture to heal with also the desire to get out and have it not be so painful.
And I think, John, the other thing is just how much game time he's missed. He's played 1 game in the last month plus. He is a great shooter and leads his team in scoring. The sophomore from Katy, Texas, 5th all-time leading scorer in the history of Texas high school basketball.
It's amazing to think where this team is right now. 3rd in the country,
yes.
24-5, and they were anticipating Langston Love as a freshman to impact this team in a huge way. Obviously, Cryer has missed a huge chunk of time. They've lost Akinjo first, tiny stretch. Flagler's been out, and now Muchacho is done for the year, and yet here they are.
Good help. Excellent play by Courtney Ramey.
And it goes over the possession arrow, and it's Texas basketball.
That's the inexperience of Sohan. Watch him turn into a double team right here. And Ramey goes right for the basketball. We call him a junkyard dog for a reason. He gives them toughness.
Baylor by a point, 11:24 to go. Also worth noting, at this year's Big 12 tournament, because of the NCAA's ruling, no Oklahoma State. So Mike Boynton's team will sit and watch, not eligible for the Big 12 championship or for the NCAA tournament.
And they've been feisty, Oklahoma State, under Mike Boynton. Feisty team.
Yeah, they play hard.
Yep. Well, he's going to dance.
Flagler inside, blocked from behind. Febris got it. And then out of bounds, and it'll be Baylor basketball.
Yeah, this is a great play by Chase. Watch him. Flagler gets by, and watch Chase come from the back. Gets all ball. Unfortunately, they lose it out of bounds. I don't know about you, John, but this is a different Texas team than we saw at Gonzaga. And I think early in the Big 12, I honestly thought they were soft. And they have gotten tougher and tougher. There's no longer a wine and cheese crowd here, John. It's like brisket and Emporium chili.
Well, we've come here a bunch. They've had great atmospheres here at the Drum. Foul the floor. And they got Ramey with that one.
Yeah, when I say soft, I'll say it this way. They weren't as tough as Chris Beard wanted them to be. And that is changing.
Well, again, they were figuring things out. I mean, I think the chemistry of how all the pieces would fit together, but they have turned into a really good defensive.
No doubt.
Flagler, jumper, got it.
Smooth. How smooth is he?
He's got 14, and that leads all scored.
Yeah, he's got 12 in the second half.
Meyer to steal. Meyer. And Askew gets hit hard, or I should say hits Akinjo hard. And James will go to the line.
We told you Matt Meyer got better defensively this year. And here's the end. And that's a heady play as well from Matthew Meyer. Mercurial would be the word for Matt Meyer.
Now they're going to take a look just to see if that was a flagrant.
That was a great 2-on-1, wasn't it? I mean, that's a common foul to me. That shouldn't take long. But what do I know? Yeah. That should be an easy, quick one. Two-shot foul, common foul.
So they made their decision. Baylor on top by 3, and Akinjo will go to the line. And one of the best free throw shooters in the country. Let's take a look at tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch. That's what happens when you cross today's and tonight's. Tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch. James Akinjo, 9 points, 4 of 9 from the floor, 7 assists. And again, a guy that he leads the Big 12 in assists, 15th in the NCAA, and he's so great at the free throw line. Look, when he's playing well and getting, as you like to say, a piece of the paint, and either utilizing it to get to the basket or to distribute, he and their offense are really tough to deal with.
Yes, and last year with a very young Arizona team, he was thought by some to be a ball hog. And Sean Miller, in talking, former coach at Arizona, in talking to Scott Drew, assured him, you will love coaching this kid. We needed him to score last year, but he can pass it too, and that's what he's done. Now it's time for Texas to get into the paint.
Ramey inside Haynes. Couldn't hit. Bishop following, but Ramey will go to the line.
Courtney Ramey, who originally committed to Louisville, seems like 100 years ago, and Rick Pitino. And when Pitino left Louisville, a young man from the St. Louis area decided to play for Shaka Smart. And if there's one constant with this kid, John, he's brought the energy every single day.
Yeah, he and Matt Coleman, it was like they were attached at the hip.
Sure were. Some big moments last year, right? The Big 12 tournament champs.
Two-point game, 10 to go. Great crowd here tonight in Austin. The final game of the Erwin Center. Step, but he gets that swatted out of bounds.
That's great defense. Scott Drew opened up the paint. Nobody in that right post. So watch him come downhill, and here comes the help. No foul. Piece of it. Good defense. What Texas has done tonight is the non-shooters are being guarded like they have the plague, and their defenders are in the lane lurking to defend the rim.
Under 10, Akinjo from deep. Score the basket, Akinjo the 3, and then Thamba got fouled. That's a huge play.
I think, let's watch now. There's the shot. Oh yeah, just a shove. Timmy Allen can't do that. Watch Thamba fly. So that's going to be a 1-and-1. This could be 5 points. Thamba not a great foul shooter.
Will Thamba on the season at 58% from the free throw line, but 2 for 2 in this game. Not able to hit the front end. So an opportunity missed for Baylor. Ramey goes baseline, reverses, up is good.
Bishop and Allen, they bring that toughness to Austin to go along with Jones, Cunningham, and Ramey.
And Flo Thamba a little frustrated. They got him on a moving screen, I believe.
Let's watch it. If Flo was moving, it's an easy call, but I have a feeling Timmy Allen did a nice job of selling it.
Third on Thamba.
Watch. Can't tell from that angle. It's tough. Flo didn't think so. Jamie Lucky did.
52-49. Barr the lob. And then eventually Bishop gets it back, puts it up. Tip wouldn't go.
Who touched it?
Who touched it is the question, no doubt.
Yep.
Score the basket, they're going to say Sohan.
Okay. A couple guys, a couple guys were up there at the same time. Let's watch now. Both jump. Man, I think they both touched it. Seriously. And actually, it's Bishop more so than Sohan. That is a really tough call. Can't review it.
It is intense right now, and Scott Drew is frustrated. Baylor on the road, leading by a point in Austin.
It was the
Small businesses that switch to Spectrum Business can cut their...
but they got that one right.
Yeah.
They did. It's a hard call. Scott Drew disagreed. We had to watch it 5 times during the break. And go take a referee class, you fans that think all these guys stink. Go take a referee class and referee YMCA ball. This is not an easy job.
Akinjo handling. Bonner inside.
Courtney Ramey is struggling right now. Caught it. It's like he lost his breath for a second.
He got the wind knocked out of him. He's grabbing his sternum there.
Remember, Kendall Brown has 4. That's why he's sitting.
Carr, as the shot clock expires, off the mark with a 3. And now Akinjo back the other way.
You can see how more aggressive James has been in the second half.
Got a shot blocked. He wanted the foul call.
Good help. Watch the cutter. Good pass.
Skip pass to Jones. Couldn't hit. Bishop rebound. Rejected by Thamba. Fans wanted a foul. And back and forth we go. Up ahead, Jones had it stripped away.
Frenetic.
Oh my gosh, I'm out of breath right here just watching it. Close in on 7 to go. And Kendall Brown is fixing to check back in.
Nice pass.
Wow, what a look. And Thamba gets fouled. All created by James Akinjo. Thamba will shoot 2 when we return. They are tough, huh? K-State.
Oh yeah. Yep. I'll tell you, K-State wins that game. They've got a home game against Oklahoma, I believe, on Saturday. And I do not want to see them in my bracket in the quarterfinals in Kansas City. Remember, John, they were ravaged as much as any power conference team in the country this year early in conference play. A few others too, but them particularly. They went to West Virginia with 7 scholarship players and an assistant coach.
So here's Thamba at the line. Rattle Bears at home.
If I were Flo Thamba, I would come back to school next year. He would be an all-league player. That's how much he's improved. We watched Freddie Gillespie do it. This kid has gotten so much better.
How about Freddie Gillespie, a guy who went from D3 to Baylor, and at least 2 10-day contracts this year, right, in the NBA?
Oh, yeah. In fact, he made about 140 grand for 2 weeks.
Baylor by 3. Feed inside to Bishop.
That's big.
And I think if it's on Flagler, that'll be his 4th, and it is. So Brown with 4, Flagler with 4. All right. How about this lineup we have for you Saturday? The Blackhawks will square off against the Flyers at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC. Got Carolina and Duke on ESPN, the Warriors and the Lakers on ABC, and the main card at UFC 272 from Vegas starts at 10 Eastern on ESPN plus pay-per-view. A little bit of everything for you in that lineup.
It's precarious now for Baylor with 6:45 to go. Flagler, Brown, 4 each. They have to be smart.
Baylor basketball up by 2.
All right, now this is the lineup. Sohan at the 5, but it's a different animal than against Kansas. Sohan exploited David McCormick, a true center. A guard is guarding Sohan tonight with 1 point.
Brown sees the opening and was short on the shot. Bishop inside, off the glass and in, and we're tied. Akinjo fires. Oh, through the legs. Bishop got it to Carr. And then Ramey.
Big time rebound. Matt Meyer over the rim.
Meyer with 7 rebounds in this game.
Flagler's got to be careful on drives to the basket. 4 fouls.
Flagler scoops it up and in. First field goal in over 4 minutes for the Bears.
That was great. You know what we call that? PhD, proper hand development. Great spin off the glass. Good step through.
Ramey spins. Great move, but he was short. Flagler hoists a 3. Got it! Oh, that's big. He is tough. Adam Flagler with 19 points, 16 this half.
Watch this one first. Watch the dance. And then watch this scoop underneath. That is legal. And then this off the break. He's done this forever. Catch and shoot. That's a good look for him. Young man who started his career at Presbyterian with 1 scholarship offer. Transferred to Baylor when they had Teague. You know what he said to us earlier in the year? When I got here with Mitchell, Teague, and Butler, I didn't score for the first 3 weeks of practice. I didn't think I could play here after going up against those guys, but iron sharpens iron, and that's what happened to him.
Yeah, Davion Mitchell, one of the best defenders in the country.
Woo. Torturing some guys in the NBA right now.
There's no question it is really translated. Well, fans, Big 12 now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. Every Thursday, go all access of Baylor men's and women's basketball teams. The documentary series Our Time gives you an unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at both programs. You get never-before-seen footage and sound for players and coaches. ESPN Plus, Big 12 now.
I'll tell you what, this is as good and as fun and as important the last 4 minutes change for Texas as they've had all season.
Good feed. Carr finds Allen, but Sohan blocked him.
Timmy Allen's not going to have that happen to him much, but that's that length and athleticism of the freshman.
Sohan at 6'9", and very explosive, and Allen at 6'6", and Sohan rejected him. Akinjo, all those stops and starts, and he puts that one in. A big basket. He has 15.
That's Kyle Lowry right there. That's who he reminds me of. He is Kyle Lowry at the college level, a bulldog.
Carr off the mark, and eventually Allen tracks it down. Good feed. That one knocked away. Baylor up 7, largest lead of the game for the Bears.
This team's will, we've seen it for 3 years now. It is unbelievable. You
A
think
7-0 run.
You think James Akinjo fits in? After transferring from Arizona, they lost 3 NBA guards, and he does fit in like a glove.
In whatever you're in it for, we're in it together. And in part by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Here at the Frank Erwin Center in Austin, the Dalai Lama. Franny, I've been dying to do this all year, but what high school did the Dalai Lama go to, and do you know his coach?
Yeah, he went to Regis High School in Manhattan.
Here we go.
And, you know, the Dalai Lama, he thinks T.J. Ford was the best player in this school in the last 25 years, other than KD. I disagree. I think it was KD. But Dalai Lama goes with T.J. Ford. I'm okay with that. He is a big fan of Big 12 basketball.
No doubt. So are we. 7-point Baylor advantage. And Akinjo trapped.
All timeout.
And Flagler gets the timeout. So Baylor gets the TO. And again, 3:14 to go. Largest lead of the game is 7 right here for Scott Drew's team.
Right. So what you're thinking, if you're James Akinjo now, we're up 7, and I've been slicing and dicing these guys, so they're going to trap me. And they're going to try to take the ball out of his hands, and his teammates have got to know that, and they've got to create outlet passes for him. A good timeout by Flagler.
All right, coming up at the conclusion of our game, Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt, highlights and reaction from Monday's conference duels, impact for selection, Sunday Plus. Jeff Passan, the latest on the negotiations between baseball owners and players. Could they get a deal? We'll see. And another cruel edition of Bad Beats. It's all coming up. Sports Center, SVP next right here on ESPN and the app.
I know you love being with me all season. Thank you. But we got to get you back to Chicago Cubs baseball.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, sir.
Feed inside, and with the shot clock winding down, they turn it over. Carr probing, off the glass, wouldn't go. Allen offensive rebound. Erased that time by Thamba.
Amazing. Great job by Flo. Timmy was just busting his tail, and Flo made another great defensive play.
Chris Beard yelling at him. One stop right here.
If you're Baylor, you got to watch the ball screen and the trap.
Akinjo's been so big in the second half. Pull up. Wouldn't fall. Allen the rebound. That one deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Baylor, so Texas basketball 18 on the shot clock.
And you got a taste of the length of those two freshmen with Kendall Brown getting a piece of that ball.
Brown saddled with 4 fouls, hasn't scored in the second half. Allen able to get it into Carr.
Remember, Carr's got to get into the paint.
Texas hasn't scored in over 4 minutes. Thamba pulls down the rebound. That's a huge miss. On Allen as Akinjo started to spin out of it. Fran here in the second half. Frustrating for Chris Beard to watch, but the guards, Flagler and Akinjo, have hit big shots and made big decisions.
They have, John. In the first half, I thought Texas did a great job of crowding the paint, and we saw Chris Beard get upset with his guards when the ball did get in there. Second half, you can't keep these two guys down for 40 minutes. They've been just absolutely outstanding. Both of them have been hurt in conference play. Probably not at 100%, but that's true of a lot of good players in this league by now.
Akinjo missed time with a bad back. For Flagler, it's been a knee. You see he's got that sleeve on his left knee. He missed a couple of games. Akinjo, really good free throw shooter. 84%.
I think Scott Drew, he's got Meyer in for Thamba so he can switch at all 5 spots so they don't give up a easy 3-point opportunity.
Scott Drew employing the 3 keys in that last timeout that he always tells his guy: grab every 50-50 ball, rebound, box out, and absolutely no turnovers. He said, do your work early.
Akinjo, 2 big free throws knocked down. The lead is 9. Texas got a score here. Ramey. Bishop grabs the rebound and puts it in. And a timeout, Texas. 7-point advantage. Freddie, that last possession, it's a spot I still think you see it from time to time in college where you're down a big margin and immediately teams think 3, got a 3. But really it needs to be the quickest, highest percentage shot, right?
Exactly. If you're going to get 3, you can get it going to the hoop.
Yeah.
Normally the defensive team that's up like that is the coach is saying no silly fouls. And because you need so many possessions, probably 4 in this case, you can't get them back if you're probing the 3-point line. And Matthew Meyer with a 7-foot wingspan has taken it away.
So 1:36 to go. Chris Beard urging his team on. We told you the final game for the men's basketball team here at the Frank Erwin Center. Their first game, November 29th, 1977. And they'll be moving on to a gorgeous new facility next door. I asked Chris Beard, remember his time as an assistant with Rick Barnes, and saying, what would be your fondest memory here? And he said, well, how about tonight if we beat Baylor? It's going to take a pretty ridiculous comeback in this spot.
And the guy to foul would be Sohan if he has it, under 60. And Jeremy's the furthest guy from the ball right now.
So Brown takes the foul.
And John, I said it earlier, they have overcome the loss of a great player in Everyday John. And why? Because they've got 4 really talented big guys who keep getting better. If this team were to add L.J. Cryer, think about the firepower on the perimeter to go along with these guys. Akinjo's eligible to come back as a 5th-year senior. Obviously, Flo Thamba. Meyer could. Flagler's going to be back. And they've got a great recruiting class coming in.
In and out. Got to get a bucket here. Allen. And that's 2.
And that's okay. That's okay if you're Texas. They just traded 1 on one end for the 2 on this end. Just a breakdown. They took away the three-point line, and Bishop gets open inside again. See all the crowd on the line? Watch out. I say Bishop, I meant Timmy Allen sneaks in there. So now same thing for Texas. Set up the press, foul. Scott Drew's likely to keep his poorest foul shooter away from the ball.
Baylor fresh off a great win at home against Kansas on Saturday. Wonderful atmosphere on Saturday in Waco. We've had a great atmosphere here tonight. Tell you what, this is a league, you go on the road and you got your work cut out for you. And I know in the world of college basketball, especially at the high major level, that's normally the case. But in this league, man, you come to Waco, obviously to Lawrence, now to Lubbock, and this year, Chris Beard worked really hard to generate an atmosphere at the Erwin Center, and we've seen it a number of times.
And they're going to move into a 10,000 seat building about a quarter mile from here. State of the art. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be hot in there. It's going to be crowded. The thing about this league, and we've seen it now, there's really no easy win every night. And the analytics speak for themselves.
And a look at the drum from outside. Sports Center with SVP comes your way next.
All right, watch this lineman. 5 guys out of bounds. He can also run the baseline after the make.
Akinjo to Brown.
I think you got to give it. Yep. Don't want to foul him if you're Texas, but you can't let that clock run. James Akinjo, Oakland, California. He signed with Connecticut and Kevin Ollie. Kevin Ollie got fired. He signed with Georgetown. He was the Big East Rookie of the Year. Transferred to Arizona last year, first team All Pac-12.
And he's been a huge part of it here in the second half. Akinjo and Flagler.
All right, be honest. Have you said more than 5 words to the kid all season?
Akinjo?
Yeah.
Well, he likes to talk sneakers.
That's true.
He always wants to know what sneakers I'm wearing.
But not much beyond that. He's a quiet kid.
Yep. Jones fires it up. That rattles out. Sohan the rebound. And with 51.8 to go, Sohan and the Baylor Bears will march down to the other end.
Chris Beard's team is going to end the regular season in Lawrence, Kansas on Senior Day, Saturday afternoon.
Texas team that's made really good strides. There's a lot of pressure on this team with all the transfers. I think there was just this assumption that it was all just going to come together right away. I think they're a preseason number 5. We saw them at the beginning of the year out in Spokane. I mean, look, that's a tall task for what I believe was their second game of the year. Number 1, Gonzaga, and number 5, Texas. But they fortified themselves at the defensive end, really showed that is their anchor, and the offense has gotten better.
Yeah, they're not a great passing team, but they have certainly improved in a lot of different areas. Great hands.
Akinjo rips it away from Febris.
Got to foul him. John, I'm going to ask you this honestly. Did Texas get the ball in the paint tonight as much as they needed to?
No, that's one of the problems for them at times offensively. Yep. Just not able to find high percentage shots. Longhorns in the game shooting 39%, Texas 41. Brown almost turned it over. Samba gets it back. And that wouldn't have counted. All right, time for our player of the game, and it is brought to you by Phillips 66. Second half belonged to that guy, Adam Flagler. 19 points, 16 after the break. And he is our player of the game, brought to you by Phillips 66. Tell you what, this is a good Baylor team again. They're not 100% healthy, obviously, but they've won some tough road games the last couple of Mondays.
They know how to win. It's simple. They know how to win.
68-61, our final. For Fran Fraschilla, Chris Budden, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm John Shambi. Time now to get you to Sports Center. Scott Van Pelt, I want you to tell me there's going to be baseball soon.